episode 4024, The Heart of Your Attitude.
Moms, it's time to rediscover, rejuvenate, and renew who you are in mind, body, and spirit. Welcome to Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie, the show to help you do just that. Here's your host, certified life coach, personal trainer, and nutritionist, Christiane Wargo.
Happy day. I hope you're having a fabulous week. Can you believe it? It's brand new. That means you get to set the tone of how you want to show up this week, the heart of your attitude. For those of you who are brand new to Create Your Now, welcome to this incredible family. I'm so delighted of your presence. If you already had the opportunity, you want to head on over to createyournow.com where you can learn more and sign up for the Kisses newsletter, the Keep It Simple strategy, everyday solutions to live, love, and impact. Well, this episode is brought to you by AIM, Inspiring Connection and Community. Well, my friend, I really do hope and pray you had a beautiful, blessed Easter. Maybe the weather was better than you thought. Maybe you got drenched in rain while you were doing yard work. Oh, wait, was that us? We were. So half of our family was together. We were doing the most powerful thing called yard work. And luckily, it was all my boys. Yes, it was mama and the boys. The girls were having their thing and doing what they needed to do. But the boys came and said, all right, we're here, Mom. And so Daddy and the boys and Mama were outside, yes. And it wasn't just mulch. It was dirt. It was unplanting things that had been planted for decades. And so, oh man, let me tell you, I am still feeling the pain today. But I do hope and pray that you had a beautiful weekend, whether you were mulching outside, enjoying your family, or watching some good NCAA basketball championship. Go women, congratulations to UCLA and winning the championship, a national championship. Man, let me tell you, it's going to work right on into what we're talking about today. How do you see the glass when you wake up in the morning? Half empty or half full? The simple image holds a powerful key to your day, your choices, and ultimately your life. The heart of your attitude determines whether you view life as a series of obstacles or a world full of options. It's more than just a mood. It's the lens through which you interpret every challenge and opportunity. You know, research makes it clear your morning mindset sets the tone for what follows. A landmark study from the University of Pennsylvania found that people who start their day with a positive outlook show better problem-solving skills and increased resilience. Who doesn't need a little bit more of that? Let me tell you, the older you get, you need to have those neural pathways firing more so you can create better. Well, actually, your neurons need to fire so you can create those neural pathways. We'll get there eventually. It is Monday. Give me a break. See, your attitude, right? It shows up everywhere. But when your attitude leans towards optimism, when you can actually giggle a little bit about yourself when you mess something up, what happens is your brain is wired to look for solutions, not just the roadblocks. I'm like, oh man, you made a mistake again. Why are you even doing this stuff? But when you say, no, I know that I can do it a little bit better. It's okay, but I'm making progress. That sets you up for a proactive choice that what drives progress? It gets you going in the right direction. You're not so focused on the roadblocks because you're creating solutions. However, on the flip side, right? There's always two sides to a coin. Here we go. It's called the negativity bias. Dwelling on anything and everything that could go wrong. It can drain your motivation and cloud your judgment. Psychologists note that negative mindsets activate the amygdala, the brain's fear center, which narrows focus and limits creative thinking. Simply put, when you start with a half-empty view, you invite stress and hesitation. In other words, you're setting yourself up for failure from the very beginning. And you wonder why you're doing what you're doing. You're like, seriously, there's no reason why I can't get to where I'm going because I'm keeping myself to getting to where I want to go because of my attitude. But guess what? Today, it may be Monday, but I got good news for you. Attitude is a choice. You don't just wake up and all of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm going to feel like this. And you just are this. No, it's I get to choose. I get to choose. Attitude is a choice. And you can train yourself to cultivate the kind that best serves you. So how do you get the heart of your attitude attuned to what matters most? We got to choose your attitude for daily wins. That is your kiss to keep it simple strategy. Choose your attitude, focusing on the daily wins, because you've got to find a way to get there. What's your battle cry? Think about what's happening right now. What happened over the last week? Okay, before Easter happened. If you have young ones, maybe you were trying to figure out what are we going to do for the baskets or the Easter egg hunt. And maybe the rain just kind of spoiled everything for you. Some people do Easter egg hunts, prior to actual Easter, meaning Sunday. And some are, we stretch it. Or if you're a single parent, you might be, someone has the kids, the other person has the kids, and then you've got like double Easters. Well, for you, it's still one Easter, but you know what I'm saying, right? It just seems like if you're by yourself without the kids, then when you do have them, it's like you've got a double Easter. It can get really, really complicated. And so when you're sitting there going, okay, and now I'm going to work on this one thing in my job and my career, and this is where I'm headed, and I'm not really sure what this looks like, and I really hate this project, but I got to get it done. You know what we don't like? And what we don't do is the stuff we don't like. So we don't do it because we don't like it. Therefore, it doesn't get done. Hence, you're stuck. And if you keep showing up with that attitude of, I'm just going to, I don't know. It's no wonder nothing gets done. You're running on the hamster wheel, the wrong hamster wheel. It's time to change the colors a little bit. What's your battle cry? Now, if you're really optimistic, maybe you need to be a little bit more optimistic with realism put into it, okay? Sometimes we can be optimistic ideally. Those are two different things, looking at something idealistically versus realistically. Ideal would be like, oh, yes, awesome. But the reality of it is it looks like this. That's where you have to balance your feelings and your facts. And you have to find that because you need to honor your feelings. Just don't stay stuck in them. So what does it look like in real life where you can have that battle cry that allows you to have those daily wins? Number one, anchor your morning with a purposeful ritual. My friend, how you begin your day matters. I cannot stress that enough. When I got up, Saturday we did majority of the work because that's when the rain was coming. We were trying to beat the rain, okay? I mean, this is like real life stuff here. And we don't have a huge plot of land that our house sits on. It's basically half an acre, but it's all a manicured half an acre. So it all has to be tended to, which there's pluses and minuses that, right? But in my opinion, it's more to the plus side because it looks beautiful. Now, I will tell you this, as things begin to age or you have a late freeze, which we had 2 this year, it kind of does some things to your vegetation. And you have to decide, okay, well, we had one last year that we had to deal with. So I let some of the stuff grow to see if it would come back this year. Yeah, it didn't make it because we had the late freezes this year. And so I'm like, dig it out. I'm done. Just get rid of it. So we were digging out things that had been there. I kid you not, 15 years probably. I mean, those roots were like in there, right? And it's hard to get them out. Luckily, the boys were on the mission. But I could have woken up on Saturday. We were prepping for Friday. We got all the stuff that we needed. Oh, I just not thought about what we didn't get done. Okay, that's for another episode. Maybe we'll leave that for Tuesday's inspiration. Hey, I'm telling you, this is real life stuff. That's all right. All I can tell you is Mama's going to get strong. Mama is going to get strong. I knew there was something. Anyway, I'll leave that for another episode. You'll just have to come back because I'll share it with you, I promise. But seriously, I could have woken up on Saturday morning going, oh my goodness, this is going to be a horrible day. I've got to do all this work. I have bags and bags and bags. And when I say bags and bags, I'm talking like 150 bags of mulch. Yeah, and that's not even to cover half of it. We really need, I won't go into it. We need a lot of mulch. And it's beautiful because it's not just mulch that looks like black dirt. So it's a little bit more decorative. In my opinion, I like it, how it pops off the brick. And so we go with it. And so we had bags and bags that we did. And I could have laid in bed going, if I get my feet on this floor, I know where it's going to lead me. So I'm just going to stay in bed for a little bit more sleep. But I didn't do that. I jumped up and said, I get to play in nature before the rain comes. Well, can I just tell you that the rain came during and after we finished. It rained not as bad as what I thought it was going to be. And luckily there was no thunderstorm, meaning thunder and lightning and all that happening. It was just really honestly a spring rain, which was beautiful. We did have a downpour at one point and it was really, really cold. And so we were all running around the yard. It was so cute to see my boys act like, little 2 to 5 year olds running around going, it's cold. And I was doing the same thing. So we were dancing in the rain in a different way. But seriously, right? I didn't wake up going, I'm going to dread this. I woke up saying, it's going to be beautiful. And yesterday, even though my muscles were sore, and today they're even sore because if that's even a word, they hurt more on the second day. You're like, oh, I cannot move. It hurts. Like I have a muscle there that I never knew I felt. Yeah, I did enough squats yesterday for the rest of the year. And it's only April. I did so much squatting. It's ridiculous. But studies show that, people who engage in intentional morning routines, whether that's journaling, what you're talking to yourself about when you first wake up, meditation, or a quick practice of gratitude, it reports higher levels of positive emotion and better stress management throughout the day. Why do you think I was dancing in the rain instead of crying? And by focusing on what you want to achieve or appreciate, you prime your mind to seek opportunities rather than obstacles. That's what you're headed for. You want the opportunities, not the obstacles. But you've got to set your mind to see that. Otherwise, all you're going to do is be like, I've got to do this another day. I'm just loading the trucks. If I could just be done with it. I just want to go back to bed. Now, I'm not saying you're not going to have those thoughts once in a while, but you cannot have them all the time, right? You've got to train your muscle of saying, this is a beautiful day. For me, it's like, praise the Lord. Thank you, Lord, for however much sleep I got. If it's 3 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours on and off, I'm thankful. I slept. May not be enough, may have been too much. Regardless, I get up and I say, this is your day, Lord. What are we going to accomplish today? Now, that's just my little kind of thing that I go to. And I even tell them good morning sometimes. I have a conversation with them in the shower. It just depends on what's going on in my day. What's on the calendar? Who am I meeting with clients? What phone calls am I making? What are we recording? What am I writing? There's a lot of things happening. But you've got to determine, how can I make this something that shows up all the time? And it's not just about a habit. It's something deeper. And I think that's why I love the word ritual. It goes deeper than a habit. A habit's deeper, but it doesn't have meaning. You know what I mean? Got it? Okay. So anchor your morning with a purposeful ritual. Number 2, reframe challenges as growth opportunities. Neuroscience tells us that neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to change, yes, your brain can change, by the way. So don't say you can't, and don't tell me you're perfect, because both of those are wrong. You can, and you aren't. So they're opposites, right? Okay, I just want to make sure you're listening. Okay, you got it? So no, we're not perfect, but yes, we can change. And it thrives on perspective shifts. How we see things. How we choose to feel things. Right? Emotions are there, but then the emotions go into Feelings, nothing more than feelings. And those feelings are by choice. And we can sit there and be defeated. I know. I was yelling at my ice maker earlier. Not earlier today, but earlier a couple days ago. And I was like, seriously, what is your problem? You were working before. And it was giving me, anyway, I had a guy come out and try and fix it. And what it's basically doing, the short story is that, it's producing ice, beautiful ice, by the way, gorgeous ice. But it doesn't stop. It just keeps going more and more and more and more until pretty soon the bin is so full that it begins to start freezing on itself. So I had the repair guy come out and he said, it's your thermostat. I said, okay, makes sense, because I don't know how else to explain it except it's making great ice, which that's what it's supposed to do, but it keeps making it. It won't stop. I'm like, how do you regulate that? I don't understand. I don't have a button. I just have an on, off, and clean. That's basically it. And then a service button. That's all. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Well, the guy left because, of course, we have to order parts, and that's going to take time. And I'm like, well, I can still have ice. I just have to regulate it. I get to be the thermostat. I get to say, the Benz is full, so turn it off. Don't let it run anymore. Yeah, some of it's going to melt, but you can still use it and then turn it back on when the Benz starts getting low enough. It's kind of an inconvenience, but guess what? I still have ice. Do you see how I'm reframing my challenge? And I actually am using it as, gosh, I can make this work. It's not that bad. It's the perspective on how we look at things. When you consciously reframe problems as chances to learn or improve, your brain builds new neural pathways. You get to go on new nature walks in your mind. It's awesome. And they're associated with resilience and adaptability. And let me tell you, that is a superpower. So instead of, I can't do this, you say, this is tough, but I can figure it out. I can do this. Now, I know you're saying, Christiane, there's not that much of a difference. I can't do this versus this is tough, but I can figure it out. You're acknowledging that you don't like it, and you're saying, but I still can. It's a subtle shift in just saying, I can't do this. I can't. No, you can. It may not look like you thought it was going to look, but you can figure this out. And this subtle shift causes your attitude to lean into action rather than retreat into fear. And that's where we all get stuck. We get stuck in the unknown. And that's where we're like, nope. That's where our fears begin and end. We're like, I'm not going there. So you just don't go there. Therefore, nothing gets done, and you stay stuck in the mud like a pig. Doesn't rhyme, but it works. I could say stuck in the mud like a pug, but pugs I don't think are supposed to get stuck in the mud. We'll leave that for a funny episode too. But you get it, right? Reframe those challenges as, I can do this. I can figure this out. It's growth opportunities. And finally, number 3. I know you're having fun, aren't you? Come on, it's Monday. We got to have a little smiles and giggles. Align daily actions with your deepest values. The heart of your attitude beats strongest when it connects to what truly matters. Research from positive psychology identifies values with consistent behavior as a critical driver of well-being and motivation. So get clear on what matters most. What is it for you? Like, what is the ultimate number one? Not you, by the way, and not God. Yes, they can still be there. Okay, I'm not saying they're not, but anything after that. Is it your family, your creativity, your freedom, your impact? What is it? And then break your goals into small daily steps that reflect those values. That clarity sharpens your attitude to focus on progress, not perfection. Let me tell you this. My boys came to help their mama and their daddy. And it was fabulous. Had I told them in advance, which honestly, I'm telling you right now, I did not know we were going to do all of what we did. It was awesome, by the way. But it just happened by chance as it happened. But if I told them in advance, we're going to take 150 bags of mulch. We're going to take about 20 bags of soil. We're going to take all this stuff, weeding. We're going to dig roots. We're going to do all this, and we're going to do it all in the rain. Do you think they would have said, Mom, I'll be there. No problem. I'm coming on Friday. Now, number one, Mom didn't know it was going to be that much. Neither did Dad. But I will say this, we had a lot of fun doing it. And we're all sore, but we have stories to share. Why is this valuable? Because the actions of what we did together as a family was because they were connected to our deepest values. Family. It didn't matter what we were going to do. The boys were here to help Mom. When I say boys, by the way, I'm including my husband. The boys, all four of them, were here to help Mom. Mama needed help. Mama's a nature girl. None of the others are. Now, they'll help me, of course, but I enjoy doing that. It's a lot of work, don't get me wrong. But man, it's therapeutic. Get your hands in the dirt. If you haven't, and you're not one who either has a yard to be able to do something crazy like I did, or you just don't have time, just go buy yourself a little plant and repot it. No, I'm serious. Like, don't just keep it in its own little thing. Buy a plant, buy a special pot that you really like that goes with your decor, and repot it. Get some soil. I want you to get your hands in the dirt. Let me tell you, it's so therapeutic. And when you think about it, allow yourself, honestly, to say, how can this little planting episode and test with me taking this plant and just potting it into another pot, which, by the way, I have to do a plant that I have inside. Actually, it's gorgeous. This tree has, oh my goodness, I don't know how much higher it is. It's taller than me now. I think we're up to 8 feet now. This tree is in my house. I have a real 8-foot tree, and it branches out to almost 5 feet. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. And I've got new growth on it all the time. And it sits out in my studio, which is kind of like our lanai sunroom area. And I love it out there because it's warmer. It's not really warm, but we have a lot of windows out there. And it overlooks just everything beautiful out in our backyard. And I love that. And it brings in natural light. So when I'm doing videos and recording or I'm online, it just looks better and it's all natural light. So it sits there and it's like it percolates in front of the windows. You know, it heats up a little bit when that sun comes in because it gets the most, and it's gorgeous. I need to repot it. So when you're doing this repotting experiment, allow yourself to say, okay, what can I do to clear my mind? What can I do to really foster the attitude that's going to set me on the pathway to winning, even though I may be losing? Get clear on what matters. That clarity is going to help sharpen your attitude. Now, ultimately, life's going to throw setbacks your way. You're going to have a lot of lemons and a lot of spilt milk. There's no escaping that. It is what it is. I don't care if you have little ones or not. You got spilt milk and lemons, right? And don't put them together because it just doesn't go well together. But anyway, but how you wake up to face them is your choice. When the heart of your attitude is tuned to see the glass as half full, to recognize those options rather than the obstacles, you write your story. You write the script for a day filled with action and possibility. You get to take aim. Action ignites motivation. That's the heart of your attitude, creating those daily wins. And a daily win doesn't mean that, woohoo, I'm on top of the world. No, a daily win might be you actually got to sit down for 10 minutes with your kiddos before they went to bed. You're like, well, that's not a lot of time. Well, if you think about it, the kids get out of school and they've got activities and tests and homework and all of this, and you know, they're going off playing their games. And I mean, you get home and literally they eat and it's like, I got to go, Mom. And they're up in their room and you don't see them again until the morning. You're like, what happened? Where'd my babies go? But oh, wait, today I got 10 minutes. You chalk that up to a win. Might be little. It's still a win. My friends, start now. You get to change your attitude, right? So when you're starting refresh tomorrow, Tomorrow morning, when your eyes open up and you're like, I'm going to have my feet hit the ground, decide which direction you're headed. What are you going to say? What do you need to start saying to yourself now? Maybe there needs to be a phrase in your mind. Create that phrase. Write it on Post-its. Put it on your phone so you see it all the time. Put it on the refrigerator, wherever you go frequently. In your car, on the toilet, on a mirror, in your office. The heart of your attitude is quietly then taking root in that first moment. Every single time you see it. So when you wake up, you're like, oh, this is what I'm thinking. You go through the motions. You go in the bathroom, you brush your teeth, and there it sticks. Wherever you store your toothbrush might be a good idea to put a sticky note there. It's your home. Remind yourself. Make it count. So are you ready? Here we go. I want you to take a deep breath. Breathe it in. It's your day to conquer. Go in peace. Be present. Be incredible. Be you. I love you so very much. I cannot wait to see you on the other side. Blessings, hugs, and lots and lots of love. We'll talk to you real soon. Have a glorious, blessed day. Bye-bye.
Feeling inspired, ready to train for life and love your journey? Visit createyournow.com for more incredible resources to help you along the way. We'll see you next time on Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie. And remember, always be sure you consult your physician before beginning any health and fitness plan.